Hey guys, welcome back to some more AFK Arena. Today we're back on the YouTube account and we're breaking down the treasure scramble. So overall guys, we're teetering between 1% and a rank, 100 or less rank. Looking at the teams that I'm running right now, I don't know how effective they're going to be, but you can see we have the awakened version of Belinda in here. This is a tried and true team that we built. We are running the Hypogen heroes right here. We are running Ulna with Baden, and again, this formation kind of went back and forth. Before we used the awakened version of Solus, and we did use Nevi in here. Went back and forth, and then the final one, of course, is the awakened version of Athelia, running with all of our dimensional heroes working incredibly well. Now we're going to hop over. I'm going to break down a guide that we kind of seeing that came from the Chinese servers. It was over on Discord, so I want to make sure that we do break it down, guys. And even looking here, I think this formation, I might just modify it a little by putting actually Albedo and Merlin up front, and then running Rem and Amelia in the back. Again, a lot of different variations that you can kind of run this. Make sure you're very, very cognizant of the heroes that you're running in here, and also where they are scoring, where they are ranking. Now, early within the treasure scramble, it is going to be a lot more detrimental until we get some of the larger players up to those higher levels, those higher tiers, where it kind of evens out exactly where you're at. It also makes a big difference, guys, depending on where you're actually playing this within the division itself and where you're actually placed. So, all right, guys, let's hop over and I'll break down the guide. All right, guys, so here is the breakdown again. This is from over on the Chinese guides. You can see the Re-Zero double empty with Amy and Rem. It's Amelia and Rem. Again, the conversion, I don't know the translation, or I know a lot of heroes they actually call by different names. SP Sky Penalty, Sword Super Lion, Black Phoenix, Light Female, which of course is the awakened version of Belinda, Black Phoenix, which is Matria, Nine Tails, which of course is the awakened version of Solus. Baden is actually Baden. And then Bone Method and Mulan. We're going to go through this, guys. Now, you'll notice Volcano and Temple Terrain. So this is the regular one that we see within the fire and within the forest. But I'm going to just skip over this right now because we're not going to cover it, because right now we are in the snow. So ice and snow area is the one that we are in. You can see, guys, they have some names for these, the Void teams. This is the team that I was specifically running. You can see the awakened version of Athelia. We have Albedo right here, and then we do have Merlin, we do have Amelia and Rem. In addition to the Bone Belt, they can use the Seal or Talisman. Now, if you don't have that awakened version of Athelia, you can run Mulan, you can run Yennefer, a couple different variations. Now, like we said earlier, when it came to Garrison heroes, you can see, guys, Ainz is actually still used in this formation. If you do not have Rem, run with the Winged Lion. Now, this is the reason why I said before, Ainz is very, very strong when it comes to overall build, when it comes to an overall hero. Ainz still does incredibly well. If you don't have every hero built in AFK Arena, Ainz will still work incredibly well. Now, looking down here at the Void team, this is what, again, we've kind of been running. This actually runs Joan in place of Albedo, which I do not like. I like running Albedo in here, but you can see put in the back row, either running Geralt or running Yennefer in there for a team. Now, the second one we were running was this Undead team. This again is kind of a variation which runs Yennefer, and it also does run the awakened version of Baden, running Vespero. Now, Vespero, of course, has to be a high level, which I believe it is 12 or higher or 15 or higher to really be effective. But you can see if you don't have Yennefer, we do have Flora in here. We have Tamris, of course, providing a lot of buffs, and Silas. Now, Silas in this formation for Yennefer is a very constant and consistent formation that we've seen run within the treasure scramble that does incredibly well. Then, of course, if you don't have Baden, Grez will work in there. Now, the Nine Tails, this is, of course, the awakened version of Solus. This has Athelia in here again. You can see the original version of Athelia or Tamris in here. Most players do run Tamris within this formation, and then running Orthos and Tarnos. Now, unfortunately, I do not have Tarnos, but you can see the front bench. These are the heroes that you can kind of sub in. Again, very dependent on who you have built. If you don't have Orthos, Kanice, and Rook, we've also seen Taylene in there. Honesta has been in there, Edwin, Arthur, some different formations in there to really make this one work. And then, of course, if you don't have Belbello at 15 or higher, the Beast, unfortunately, is pretty worthless, which puts in the Savage Souffle or the Owl in that place. Now, the Light Woman's team, of course, is the awakened version of Belinda. This very first formation right here that you see is one that we've traditionally run for an incredible amount of time. This has been the staple formation in the Treasure Scramble actually since they started it with the Awakened version of Belinda, and then the variation actually drops out Palmer. If Palmer or the Bishop is needed in another team, you can actually put a Strilda in there, which again is kind of a formation that we have seen. And then we do have the Rock Lizard in here. Now, the Black Phoenix team, of course, it is Matria with Kanisan Rook. This again is a very, very staple team that we have seen. Now, if you don't have Aziz in here, it does have Leofric. I run Mortis in here specifically because the original version of Aziz is actually used in that Belinda team. But you can see we also do have Matria in here. But overall, I do run Mortis in here for the fact that he provides some really solid buffs. If you can get him to buff guys, works incredibly well. And of course, we no longer have that Awakened version of Aziz because we did swap him for another Awakened hero, which was the swap for Baden. So I only have him at Legendary, and that is actually as far as I'm going to build him. Now, the Super Sword team, pretty interesting, guys. So when you look at this one, I love the name because Thane has a sword, Athalia has a sword, Joan has the sword. I believe Sonya has a staff, but Vithiel has a massive sword. So it's really cool. So if Joan went to the Void, try to put in the Bishop, which of course is right here with Palmer. We also do have Hendrik down here. Super Sword, single C is weak. So if you're putting in Athalia or you're putting Mulan in this formation is again a very strong formation, as we see it built right there with the Owl. Now, we have seen in the past the Awakened version of Thane actually run with the Owl, also run with the Moth, but you can see Talisman in here for crowd control. And then they talk about the Seal. The Seal, the Lazy Master C, the Seal in a lot of different game modes. If you can get the Seal to ult, you can win. It is kind of the 6-team threshold at 15, 17 through 12, again, depending where you have the Seal. The higher the Seal is built out. This is a old school stall team, which works incredibly well because of the Seal, guys. You're just reliant on the ultimate abilities of your heroes to get the Seal to ult to really do, again, an incredible amount of damage within there. This formation, again, we've seen when you start getting into 6 or 7 teams, because sometimes at that point you're limited to heroes. So this is a good team to sub in. Then here we have the Super Lions, guys. You can see we have Anasta and we do have Brutus in there, Taylene, Grez, and then Silas in there with Blade Ridge. If you don't have Silas, Edwin or the Invade with Scrag works again incredibly well. Plus you'll get the formation bonus because you'll get the either 3-2, or if you put that one in, you'll get a 4 bonus, which works incredibly well. And then the quick kill team, as of course, which we've seen a lot, is Scarlet. Scarlet, guys, has an incredible amount of burst damage. If you have Rosaline actually following Scarlet, you have buffs in here, you have crowd control. Then, of course, you have the Super Psycho with Leica in here, as well as Blade Ridge or the Grassy Orb in here. And again, it's really cool to see. I'm not exactly sure who this is coming from, the Chinese Guild. We see it on AFK Inside. I also do catch it on Discord every now and then. So I'm hoping that it helps. And again, they continue to update this, and it is updated again through Discord. I put links to these within my Discord server. So there's a lot of different formations to actually run in here. Ultimately, when it comes to the Treasure Scramble, guys, it is what heroes do you have available to play. That is the big thing. Even looking again at some of the other Treasure Scrambles, because of the debuff, it does change a little bit, but you'll notice that there are a lot of teams that are run very, very similar when it comes to the formations. Guineas is actually making an appearance in here. We see Crescio and Orin right down there. So it's also interesting to see Demia, that we're seeing a lot of these newer heroes actually falling within a lot of formations when it comes to the Treasure Scramble. So, all right, guys, so that'll do it for today's video. Let me know in the comments what you guys think, and as always, thank you guys for watching.